You think confidence means loud voices and bold words. But most of the confidence you see every day is a performance, a carefully rehearsed illusion. You shake hands with people who look fearless. You trust their posture. You believe their certainty. But behind many confident faces, there is panic. And if you cannot detect the difference, you become easy prey. Human beings instinctively respect confidence. Your brain treats confidence as a signal of strength, a signal of leadership. But the human mind is not perfect at detecting authenticity. Not in modern social games. This is where manipulation begins. And this is exactly what fascinated Sigmund Freud. Freud believed much of human behavior is driven by unconscious insecurity. So many people construct fake confidence, a psychological armor, a social camouflage. But here is the danger. Fake confidence often rises faster than real confidence, because acting requires less discipline than mastery. How many powerful-looking people have you trusted too quickly? The real problem is not confidence. The real problem is misreading signals. Fake confidence is not strength. It is a strategic deception. And if you cannot identify it quickly, you will constantly follow the wrong leaders that trust the wrong people, and lose battles you never saw coming. But once you understand the patterns, fake confidence becomes easy to detect. Stay until the end, because the final principle reveals the most dangerous form of fake confidence, and almost nobody notices it. In the next few minutes you will learn 6 psychological signals, 6 patterns that expose fake confidence instantly. Ask yourself something. Who do you trust more? The loud wolf or the silent lion? Loud wolves, silent lions. Fake confidence is usually loud. Real confidence is usually quiet. Why? Because insecurity demands attention. But strength does not need constant validation. Freud once observed something powerful. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. And honest self-awareness creates calm confidence. But insecurity creates noise. Watch conversations carefully. Who interrupts constantly? Who dominates the room? Count to 3. Observe the reactions. Fake confidence fears silence. Real confidence controls silence. And this leads to the next signal, a signal far more dangerous. Because some people hide insecurity behind aggressive certainty. The overcompensation trap. It begins with hidden insecurity. And insecurity does something predictable. It overcompensates. Think about a battlefield general who constantly boasts about victory. Real generals study maps quietly. Pretenders shout orders loudly. Ask yourself this question. Why do some people constantly remind you how confident they are? Because the performance is not meant for you. It is meant for their own fragile ego. Freud described this mechanism as a defense structure of the ego, a psychological shield protecting inner weakness. Overcompensation is like a hyena roaring like a lion. The sound is loud, but the power is not real. Observe how someone reacts to subtle challenges. Ask a simple question. Does their tone escalate immediately? Does their certainty become louder? That is overcompensation revealing itself. Because real confidence does not panic under mild pressure. Count to 3. Watch what happens. And this leads to the next signal. A signal that exposes insecurity faster than any words. The fragile ego reaction. Real confidence is resilient. Fake confidence is fragile. A single criticism can expose it. A simple disagreement can ignite it. Why? Because fake confidence sits on top of a fragile ego. Freud believed the ego constantly defends itself against perceived threats, even imaginary ones. So when someone challenges fake confidence, the ego enters defense mode. This is where cognitive dissonance appears. Cognitive dissonance means the mind cannot tolerate contradictions. If someone believes they are powerful, but receives criticism. Their mind experiences conflict, and that conflict creates emotional explosions, anger, deflection, insults. Ask yourself this question. Have you ever watched someone completely overreact to mild feedback? That reaction is not confidence. It is ego protection. When someone reacts violently to small criticism, slow down. Observe carefully. Do not argue immediately. Let the emotional storm expose itself. Because fragile confidence cannot sustain pressure. And eventually the mask cracks. But the next principle reveals something even more strategic. Some people maintain fake confidence through information control. Powerful predators do not only rely on strength. They rely on information advantage. Information asymmetry, the illusion of authority. Confidence is not only expressed through posture, it is also performed through control of information. Some people appear confident simply because they speak first. They dominate the conversation. They deliver statements with certainty. But confidence built on words alone can be misleading, because authority often hides behind information asymmetry. Information asymmetry means one person controls what others know, and what they do not know. Ask yourself this question. How often have you trusted someone simply because they sounded certain? Freud observed that human beings often seek authority figures to reduce psychological uncertainty. Your brain prefers confident answers over complex truths. And manipulators understand this instinct, so they weaponize certainty. But here is the strategic truth. Real experts reveal complexity. Pretenders simplify everything. Listen carefully to how someone explains things. Do they admit uncertainty? Do they acknowledge nuance? Or do they claim to know everything immediately? Absolute certainty is often theatrical. Count to 3. Observe the depth of their explanation. Because true confidence does not fear complexity. Only fake confidence demands instant authority. But the next principle exposes an even deeper difference. The difference between predators and performers. Predator versus performer psychology. Not all confidence serves the same purpose. Some confidence hunts. Other confidence performs. Performers seek attention. Predators seek results. Ask yourself something. Which animal survives longer in the wild? The same rule appears in human behavior. Fake confidence performs loudly. Real confidence operates quietly. The ego craves recognition. This is where performers emerge. They use exaggerated confidence to harvest admiration. But predators do not perform. They calculate. They observe. They strike only when necessary. Real confidence often appears calm, minimal movement, minimal words, maximum awareness. Study body language carefully. Who constantly seeks validation? Who needs applause after every statement? Now watch the quiet person in the room, the one observing. Count to 3. Who speaks less but says more? That person often carries real confidence, because strength rarely advertises itself. And this leads to the final principle, the most powerful signal of authentic confidence. A signal almost invisible to the untrained eye, because the most dangerous confidence is completely silent. The silent confidence principle. The most powerful confidence in the world is rarely loud. It is calm, controlled. Real confidence behaves like a lion resting in the shade. It does not roar constantly. It roars only when necessary. Fake confidence performs endlessly, because it needs attention to survive. Ask yourself this question. When was the last time you saw a truly powerful leader desperately seeking validation? Real authority does not beg for recognition. It radiates presence. Freud understood something unsettling about the human psyche. Confidence often emerges from confronting inner conflict. This process is called shadow integration. It means facing the parts of yourself you usually hide. Most people avoid this battle. so they perform confidence instead. But those who integrate their shadow become different. Calm, focused, difficult to intimidate. Start observing silence. Who controls it? Watch who speaks only when necessary. Who pauses before answering? Count to 3. Observe the room. Fake confidence rushes to fill silence. Real confidence uses silence as a weapon, and this leads to the final realization. Once you recognize these patterns, you begin seeing them everywhere. You now see the battlefield more clearly. Confidence is not always strength. Sometimes confidence is camouflage, a psychological disguise hiding fear. But now you know the signals: the loud wolf, the fragile ego, the overcompensating performer, the illusion of authority, the hunger for validation, the fear of silence. These patterns appear everywhere. In workplaces, in relationships, in politics. Ask yourself this question: how many times have you followed someone who only looked confident? From now on, you will notice the difference between predators and performers. Because real confidence does not perform for the crowd. It prepares quietly. But knowledge alone is not enough. You must train your perception. Study body language. Study reactions. Study silence. Because the world quietly divides into 2 groups: those who perform confidence and those who understand it. If this video sharpened your perception, then you are already beginning to see the patterns. Subscribe to the channel, because here you study the psychology most people never question. And before you leave, write this in the comments. Write, "I see through the mask." Because once you see fake confidence, you will never mistake it for strength again.